everybody. Welcome to the Johnny Kinhammer Podcast, Episode 1. It's hammer time. I am on the roof of my apartment here in Playa del Carmen, sitting by the pool, under the moonlight. I can see Cozumel off in the distance, nice and bright. There's a guy here teaching his Tinder date, salsa lessons. They don't seem like they know each other too well, but yeah, it's a nice night. I'm gonna finally start the podcast. I wanted to make something that is just going to track my weekly progress, what I'm doing. I know there's a lot of guys in their 30s and 40s who feel stuck. They don't know that they can actually change. They can make improvements. This is how I felt. Just a little bit about me for anybody who isn't really familiar with my story. I grew up small town Wisconsin, very shy kid, very antisocial, always looked for validation, never felt like I was good enough for really anybody. Like I didn't feel like I was worthy in my family. I didn't really connect with anybody. I wouldn't say maybe not connected, but just I didn't feel like I could be myself. And then growing up in school, I didn't have a lot of girls. I didn't feel like I could be myself there either. Got into a marriage where I was not in abundance. I was choosing her out of scarcity. We had a lot of red flags. There's a couple times where I was going to break up with her, but if I did that, then I'd have no women in my life, and that was worse to me than dealing with red flags. So I ended up getting married to her. We made that marriage last for 12 years. We were together for 13 total years. We ended up really only getting married because I was supposed to go to South Korea, and I didn't want to break up with her. So if we got married, I could stay in the States. So that's what happened. I proposed to her in a Wendy's parking lot. Nothing romantic. It wasn't like a romantic loving gesture, like you're the one for me. It was, fuck, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to break up. You're the only girl in my life that's ever cared about me, that's given me consistent sex, that said she loved me. So I thought, okay, well, maybe that is what it's about. People tell you, like, maybe that's your soulmate. You're going to make this work forever. And there's plenty of times in that marriage and throughout the relationship where I just did not feel happy. I did not feel like this was the best life I could live. But at the same time, I also had very low confidence and didn't believe in myself at all. So I thought, I think I just deserve this, or this is just what life is. Like, I'm just grateful somebody is around. Otherwise, I would be just a loser. Like, I didn't even meet her till I was 21. She was really the first consistent girlfriend I had. I had sex a few times before her, but it was just one night stands and random drunk nights, not with anybody attractive. I did have a girlfriend in basic training, basically, or tech school for 2 weeks. I would have married, I don't know if I would have married her, but I would have been very close, because I was very upset when we had to split. We went to different military bases. So I was just in a very needy, scarcity-based mindset. And I kept this all the way through the marriage. There's times where I probably should have left. There's times that she probably should have left. But because we didn't have better options, we stuck together. So this was basically my life up until 34 years old. Once I hit 34 years old, my wife came home. She had gone out for her birthday party. She came home, told me that she had made out with her coworker, and that was really where everything shifted in my life on a permanent basis. Before, we had fights, and we would get together, we would apologize, and it would be loving for a little bit, and it's like, oh, everything's good, but then it'd go back very quickly, and you start dealing with these things that you're just making compromises on. I didn't have any boundaries. I didn't stand up for myself in any way. So it just reverted back to the same old patterns. I knew I was not even close to what my best self could be. So once she came home, told me that happened. That was basically the start of my new life. Like, I struggled for months after the divorce because I was very worried on what she was doing. Who's this new guy she's with? What does she have? What does he have that I don't? I would search for Wisconsin state records to see if this guy had a criminal record. Who was this guy? Doesn't she know how great I was, how great of a provider I was, that we had such good times together, that I'm actually a really good guy? Yes, I know I'm overweight. I know I'm addicted to video games. I know I don't really try in anything. I know I'm not even that confident. I know I can't stand up to you in any way or lead or be the man of the house or do anything productive around the house. But I'm a good person. You should see that. And I kept those thoughts for months and didn't really make any progress. Would come home, would go to work, stare at the YouTube screen, just distracting myself. I would watch things like sad songs and would come up with ways to get her back, journaling, like writing, texting, what perfect text would get her back. I remember she came to the house to pick up her stuff and she couldn't find anybody to help her move. And because I was just sitting around the house and I had nothing better to do, in quotes, I decided to help her move. And I'm sure this had to do with more with the fact that I was hoping that she would see what a great guy I was. I remember I was in her apartment, helped her move all her stuff, and then we're just standing there. And then, I didn't get any sort of validation. And then I just had to leave because she was done with me. She made her decision. It was over, which thank God she did, because if I had taken her back anyways, that would have just shown how weak of a man I was, that I'm willing to take somebody back that cheated on me in the first place. Like, that is very insane. I wish I wasn't that kind of guy, but I 100% was. I'd hate to admit that, but I would have done that because I didn't want to grow. I was afraid of the future. I thought at 34, I was too old to find somebody new. I had never been widely attractive to girls in the first place. So now that I'm overweight, it's going to be even more difficult for me to find somebody. Plus, I didn't have any friends at this point. I'd lost all my friends throughout the marriage. I didn't know how to socialize. It was small town Wisconsin, so there's not a ton of options out there. I would have had to basically go to the same bars every weekend, hoping that I could find somebody, because I didn't have a social circle. I didn't have online dating. I had no pictures. I was overweight, so I'm not going to find the highest quality girl. So I was in complete scarcity. I would have taken her back. So thank God that moving woke me up and got me out of my funk a little bit. Like, I realized that this is not working. And then I heard some things that resonate with me, that no one's coming to save me. If I'm going to get over this divorce, if I'm going to get the life that I want, I'm going to have to become better. And I started listening to more positive things in my life. Jordan Peterson, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, learning about RSD, learning from Tom Torero. These things all changed my mindset to realize that I am in control of my actions. I have personal responsibility. I can feel whatever I want, but if I'm not going to take actions, I'm not going to get the life that I want, and I'm going to just stay stuck forever. She's going to move on. She's going to have her boyfriend. I'm going to be dicking around, sitting in small town Wisconsin playing fucking Call of Duty forever in my house. Like, that's lame. So that really is what woke me up. So this is about 6 months, maybe 4 or 5 months after the divorce. I decided I'm going to sell my house and I'm going to move to Boston. And everybody was telling me at the time that this is a terrible idea. Reminder that I'm in the Midwest, so people don't get divorced very often. They stick with their partner even though they're miserable. They end up, just fighting it out. That's what you're supposed to do. Marriage is not supposed to be easy. Aren't you going to want to just stay here where you're familiar with all your friends? So I'm being told immediately not to move to Boston. I was in therapy at the time, and the therapist was trying to tell me that people get mugged in Boston and trying to give me all these scare stories. And that's when I realized therapy wasn't for me either. Like, she's not helping me find solutions to problems or like focus on the future or the man that I could become, which was already in my mind from Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn, and like telling you that you can do these kind of things. You can become somebody completely different. So when she's telling me how dangerous Boston is and that I shouldn't go, that's when I knew I was on the right track and that I had to leave small town Wisconsin. Another huge step for me, because prior to that, I had only lived in small towns. Warrensburg, Missouri was where I was stationed at. So I didn't have a ton of experience on my own. So that was my very first step. Is I moved to Boston, and Boston was great. I was able to get out, start meeting some people, practice my social skills. I met a really cool guy named Angus. If he's ever listening, Angus, hope you're doing well, buddy. But he was also into, I guess you could say, pickup. Like, I was learning from RSD, and I wanted to become more social, and I wanted to learn how to become more attractive to girls. And so I would go out, and most of the time I was drinking, so I didn't really internalize a lot of what I was learning, but I could see the proof of concept. I could see that I was building attraction. I could see that I was improving. I was working out. I was losing weight. I was expanding my comfort zone. Like, I had green juice for the first time out there. I had started just kind of doing as much as I could. I started going out sober every once in a while, but then I would revert back. And my dating life wasn't great. I mean, I was just getting out of the divorce, but it really opened my eyes to see that I was starting to make some progress, that I didn't have to be hung up on my ex, that I was actually really happy going out, making new friends, being more social, living in Boston. Like, that's just such a huge change. There's so much to do on the weekends. I didn't really focus a ton on what she was doing anymore because I had moved on. I had now been focusing on the future and what I wanted to do rather than on the past of, doesn't she remember all the things I did for her and all the adventures we had, all that stuff. Like, I was able to leave that in the past because I was so focused on where I wanted to go. I had shifted into a new identity, the identity of a man that is going to do what it takes to become more attractive in life in general, just become a better version of himself. So that's where Boston came in. After about 6 months, Angus and I decided we would move to Las Vegas. Vegas was another eye-opener. I had cashed out my 401k. I thought it was more important for me to build my social circle or build my social skills as fast and as much as I could because I didn't want to waste time. I was 35 at this point in Vegas. So again, I was still thinking I was way too old. I was never going to get the dating life I wanted or the girls I wanted. So I became a club promoter, got into the nightlife scene, was able to really build up my social skills. But again, I was still hiding and never actually pushed myself as far as I could. I was going to the clubs, I was drinking, I was using the attraction material that I was learning, and I was getting girls, and I was making some progress, but the drinking took over. I was spending too much money, I was partying too much, I was not learning the lessons. I was always trying to hide from that, I guess, unworthiness still. I would go into interactions and still have some self-doubt, but the alcohol would limit it so I could just be free and be myself. So I was getting some results. I was growing. I was learning new things. I was just continuing to grow and build. I was doing field reports. I was studying. I had a lot of great friends that were also interested in similar things. They would talk business with me. We would go on road trips to California or go hiking and stuff. So I was actually building friends again, which I had not had for years while I was married. So it was a really pivotal part of my life. I learned a lot, but I also could have done a lot more had I tried to not focus so much on alcohol. Alcohol and drugs are a big thing in my life. I do well without it for a while, and then I revert back. So luckily, this year, 2025, I've been doing well with that. But you'll see a recurring pattern with this. But after Vegas, was doing well. I had a girlfriend that I saw from Canada. She would come and visit me, and then I started to get comfortable again. Like, okay, I got a girlfriend. I don't need to push myself so hard. I can start staying in on the weekends and just focusing on doing some self-improvement stuff, probably a lot more distracting my stuff. I got back into video games a little bit. And because it was enough consistent attention and sex. I didn't really push myself anymore in Vegas. I would go out here and there, but I didn't do as many approaches, didn't really push my comfort zone as much because she would come visit. I'd go visit her. We would talk consistently. We would have Snapchat sex. Just not, looking back at it, it was really just another comfort seeking thing, just getting sucked into a relationship that was easy rather than pushing myself farther than I know I'm capable of. So I saw her for, it actually turns out to be a couple years. I didn't realize like how long that relationship lasted. So I didn't get the progress that I wanted, that I was hoping I would. And then I went to Philadelphia and was basically starting over, didn't have an online dating profile, was rusty from not really talking to girls. So when I would go out, I would not really socialize. I didn't meet any girls on the street. I would get a date here or there from Tinder. So I did see a couple girls there, but nothing crazy. And then COVID happened. And then COVID for a year and a half or whatever it was, I was in my parents' basement. I had flown out from Philadelphia to get a job. I was going to go to Grand Rapids, Michigan. And COVID happened as soon as they started locking down everything as soon as I got to my house in Wisconsin to pack up my stuff, and then shutdown happened. So I was in my parents' basement for all of 2020 or all of COVID. So definitely no dating there, definitely no socializing, not getting the dating life I wanted. I was probably, I'm going to guess 38 at the time. I'm not going to do the math now. So again, I'm not getting anywhere near the life I want. I'm making good money as a software developer. I'm working as an Android developer, but I was not very good at it. I hated it. It was not anything that I wanted to do. But it was paying me well enough. So, I mean, I half-assed it to the max. As much as I hate to say that, that's exactly what I did. I never put forth the effort. It just wasn't passionate for me. I never felt smart enough either. So there's a lot of self-destruction. But a little bit after COVID, and I was making some good money, I decided to move to Austin, Texas, had a blast there. Was able to go to an event called Emo Bingo and start meeting people and start socializing. And there I was not drinking at Emo Bingo. I would see people going there on a Monday night, getting trashed, having to work the next day. And I felt great knowing that I could go out, just sing songs, meet people, and have fun without having to drink. I still had these doubts in my head though, that I'm not doing enough. I should be able to talk to more people. I should be more social. I have a lot of these I should. So that was a recurring theme. Austin was great. Stayed there for about a year. But then I came and visited Mexico for a week. And in that week, I had a decent enough Tinder profile that I was able to sleep with 4 girls within that week. And they were higher quality than any of the girls that I had seen in Texas. And so I realized very quickly, like, this is where I want to be. The weather's nice. I don't have to be in Texas because I'm working remote with COVID. And I came down here, and that's when my dating life accelerated, because now I could get on dates without having to go into an interaction. I didn't have to push my comfort zone. I was still getting very quality girls on these dating apps. So I was getting the second half of the dating life going. I didn't have to do the approach. I didn't have to do all that stuff. I could just do the second half where I'm on the date, and I could build my skill set, and I could start seeing the kind of girls that I wanted. I could filter out very quickly if I liked a girl. If I didn't, I was able to just improve my sex life, get better at sex because I was getting a lot more abundance. So I was here for a week, had that experience, and then I immediately went back to Texas, and I was like, fuck this, I'm going to Mexico. Came down to Mexico for about a year and a half. Again, crushing it on dating apps, really just developing the dating life I wanted. Was still working as a software developer, so not pushing myself in that way. And then after that, ended up in Wisconsin again, Minneapolis. I came back for a medical procedure, got fired from my job, which was not surprising. And at that time, I was going to go look to be a coach because I was very happy the fact that I was able to get over a divorce. I realized that no one was coming to save me. I moved around. I started to build attraction. I started taking actions to live a life that I wanted. And I wanted to help men do the same. But I still had all that self-doubt that I couldn't do it. No one would want to listen to me. So I put that on the back burner started a cleaning business because I knew with my business partners, we could get the business up and running and build passive income. We got, you do some of the cleanings yourself. It was a year of cleaning toilets and cleaning dirty fucking houses and uh, dealing with employees and having to fire people and all that stuff. But it ended up being great. I was tempted to leave it a few times to do some sales, but we did stick it out and then ended up getting a cleaning business set up where it is providing recurring revenue, which is why we wanted to do it in the first place. You set up a cleaning business, it's recurring revenue. People need their building cleaned no matter what. As long as they're in business, they're going to need their building cleaned. So we have that client. They're doing well for now. That's how I'm currently making my living. And I don't see it lasting forever, probably not too long, but my whole goal anyways was to help people. I feel very passionate about explaining my story, showing people what is possible. It took a divorce for me to figure this out, and it wasn't even the divorce. What honestly really got me started even thinking about this stuff was there was an interview with Derek Whibley from the band Sum 41, and he had talked about how his friends' parents did not like him because he was so quiet. And this is the exact same thing my ex-mother-in-law said about me when she first met me. She didn't like me because I was so quiet. And this guy goes off to be a rock star, very charismatic on stage. And it just kind of opened my eyes to the fact that I didn't have to be what people told me it was. People told me I was quiet. People told me I didn't know how to communicate. And so I took that as an agreement that, okay, that must be true. And that really kind of opened my eyes into that. And then when the divorce happened, I started to look up like how to be more charismatic, how to talk to girls at a bar. I mean, that was going to be my best option at the time. So that's really where my journey started. So flash forward to now, cleaning business is up and running. I'm in Playa del Carmen. I'm on my rooftop right now. I'm going to be here for about another week. Let's see, what did I want to mention? Yeah, and then I'm heading to Australia next week. I'm going to go work with a client. We're going to go out. I'm going to be out there for at least 2 weeks. And then I'm going to travel to, I don't know where. I'm kind of up in the air with things. Right now, my main focus is to continue to build content that's going to help you guys just change your lives around, get the dating life you want. I see a lot of negative stuff out there. I don't want to call out these channels, but I see a lot of these comments on my channel saying, all I need, I'm addicted to validation and all women are red flags and you should just focus on yourself and all that stuff. And maybe I do still need validation. I probably do. But guess what? I'm still wanting to get the dating life I wanted. And I don't think it's all about needing a girl to do that. I want a hot, attractive girlfriend because I love sex. I love hot girls. I know to get that girl, I have to become a better version of myself. A girl that is very attractive would not like the guy I was when I was coming out of a divorce. I would be very suspicious of that girl if she came up to me and like, John, you're so sexy. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm overweight. I look gross. I don't take care of myself. I don't dress well. I'm not in shape. I don't have any hobbies. Like, why would you be attracted to me? So I like the idea of becoming the best version of myself because then I'm going to attract those kind of girls. That's what my focus is. That's why I continue to find ways to improve so I can improve my value, my finances. All that stuff goes into attracting women. I want a good dating life. I want hot women in my life. And so I'm 42. I want to do this now. I don't want to wait till I'm 50 years old and then struggle with this. If you are in your 50s, I mean, the best time to start was 10 years ago. Second best time to start is now. Like, you can do steps to improve your life if you wanted to. No one's going to come to save you. If you're not happy with your situation, if you're not happy with your dating life, just wishing about it and focusing on yourself, like, that's important, but you're going to have to take action. You're going to have to do something. Just wanted to take a look at my notes here. It's very dark. I'm still distracted by those two doing salsa. It's kind of interesting that they're on the roof. Let's see. So yeah, where I'm now, the vision for my life, where I want this stuff to go is I want a life of freedom. I do not need a ton of money. I do not need a ton of stuff. I actually love having just a suitcase full of things. With Airbnb now, you can literally go anywhere, traveling. I mean, you get some money coming in and you can travel and stay a place for a month and then you can go game. I also really want to build my skill set. I have been doing approaches daily for the last 60 some days. That's been going well. I've been getting some good dates. I've been meeting some good women. I'm much more confident going into these sets. Like, I'm not hesitating as much. But at the same time, I still do hesitate. I do make excuses. I will see a hot girl, and it could be a difficult situation, or it could look like she's busy, or it could get in my head that I have to get to the store real quick. I don't have time, which I have plenty of fucking time. It's just an excuse. So that's what I want to work on, is I don't want to feel that way. I see a girl that I'm attracted to, and when I don't talk to her, a little piece of me feels that. Like, I just know I'm not being impeccable to myself, because I know I do want to talk to her. I do want to see what would happen. I would love to maybe not date this girl, but see where things go. Maybe she'd be great, and just giving myself a chance. If she's not, we never know what's going to happen. So seeing that, that's something I need to work on, or want to work on. I want to just approach girls as I see them throughout the day. I want that to be the kind of guy I am. I don't want to be shy and quiet or hesitant. I want to be a masculine man that goes for what he wants, talks to these girls, gives them a good time. So by going in and talking to them, I can build my skill set. I can learn to be that kind of guy. And that's one of the things that I'm working on. Another thing really resonated with me yesterday was that I went out to Bar Loco. It's a club. It's a bar here in Playa del Carmen, if you're familiar with it. It's where the locals go, cheap drinks. It's where I got arrested. You can watch that video on YouTube if you want. But we were in there, and I was very stifled in my head, because it was an environment that I'm not used to, because I don't drink anymore. And there were some cute girls there, and I just didn't talk to them. And there's a lot of weasels in my head, like, oh, they wouldn't want to talk to me. They look like they're already in a group. It would be weird. Someone would see me if I'm walking up past them. So I didn't even bother to approach them. I just stood at the bar, standing around like a dick. And when they, and then so I'm not living up to being my best self. I'm hesitant. I'm not giving energy. I'm looking to steal value from them, I guess, kind of, because I want them to give me an invitation. I don't want to just go up to them and give them a great experience. So that's another thing that I want to work on, is not worrying about what people think, not needing some sort of validation, just going up, giving value, being the best version of myself I can. Because not being charismatic, not shining my light, trying to dim myself, is not helping anybody. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. It's not the kind of man I want to be. So I want to continue to shift my identity. And by doing that, I'm going to meet more people. I'm going to have way more cooler experiences. I'm going to get the dating life that I want. I do, like I said, I'm 42 now. I do want attractive women in my life. Sex is great. I don't understand why there's so many guys on YouTube that want to say that all women are red flags and just go your own way and don't even bother. Just be on your own. Okay, well, you go do that. I want to go to the gym, meditate, focus on ways that I can improve, have great sex, build myself up as a man, have fun adventures, travel, live a life of freedom, do fucking cool shit. And you guys can sit in your basement commenting on YouTube and talking about how terrible women are and just reinforcing that stuff, reticular activating system. You focus on the things you're going to attract the things that you focus on. And I don't see why a woman that is attractive would want to be with a guy like you. So you keep doing you. I'll do me. I'll go take those attractive women so that, they want to be with somebody, and it's not going to be you. So they're going to choose me, I guess. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at, what I'm looking to do. The reason I wanted to do this podcast is basically for anybody that, this is going to be just journal. This is going to be like what I'm doing to improve my life. I am not where I want to be. I've been doing this stuff for 8 years now. I've been divorced, I think 8 years now. And I've had some great experiences. I've lived some great places. I've met some great women. I've improved my social skills dramatically. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm very happy with where I am compared to 2017 Johnny. But I know that I'm still not where I want to be. There's still things that keep me from pushing as far as I could. If I was giving 100% over the last 8 years, I know I would be much farther with my dating life, with my finances, with my lifestyle. But I give in to self-destructive tendencies. I get into habits of eating terrible food. I get into habits of staying in instead of going to push my comfort zone socially. I get comfortable with girls I know that I probably shouldn't date. And these are things that I need to work on. That's what this podcast is going to be about. Things that I'm doing to become better, things that I'm doing to improve myself in my 40s, mindsets I'm learning, lessons I'm learning, interesting stories I've heard, dates that I've gone on, field reports, anything that I can do to help you guys push forward, see what's possible. If you guys have anything that helps you guys out, comment that stuff. I would love to learn from you guys because I am not where I want to be. Yes, I've made some vast improvements. Maybe I'm a perfectionist. Maybe I should take some stuff in, but I am not satisfied. I won't say not happy because I do love my life. I love practicing gratitude. I'm happy to be alive. There's plenty of things to be grateful for, but I'm not satisfied. I know that I'm capable of much, much more. I made this video yesterday when I was out for Halloween. I saw guys with hot girlfriends that were dressed like angels and devils and sexy cats. And I'm doing approaches, which is the best thing I could do. Like, it's great that I'm going out to do the approaches because I don't have a girlfriend at the moment or a girl that was available that night. There is a girl that I've been seeing kind of, but it's not a long-term solution. But even like that was the best solution I did have was to go approach. But ideally, next Halloween, I would love to call up a girl and say, let's get dressed up. We're going out. And then I have a stunning devil next to me and we're going out and having fun. And that's the kind of quality girl that I'm going for. So this podcast will just be things I'm doing to get that, things I'm doing to improve my life, things I'm doing in my 40s that maybe will help you guys if you guys are feeling stuck. I mean, this time 8 years ago, I would have been spending my entire Sunday playing World of Warcraft in the morning, eating donuts, watching football all day, getting the pizza, eating ice cream, then watching Bob's Burgers, then watching some, what would have been on Family Guy maybe, then some of The Walking Dead. Yep, it would have been all day of sitting around doing nothing. Whereas today I did a mastermind with my good friend Rowan. I did the spa. I went for a run. I'm recording this podcast. I talked to my nephews. I did some work in the morning to help me get some ideas for things that I can do to improve the YouTube channel. Like just much more focused on becoming more productive, better version of myself. So that's what I'm looking to do with this podcast. We're at 33 minutes now, so it's going a little over what I planned. I'm going to do this every week. I was a little bit nervous about filming this or recording this because now I'm committed to doing this every Sunday. Going to have it out there on Mondays. So, it's you get in your head of, oh shit, what am I going to talk about every week? So kind of a little nerve-wracking there. Let's see, what else did I want to mention? It's hard to read up here in the dark. I didn't plan that part out of it. Yeah, so just working on things. I guess I will. Yeah, I think that's plenty of time. I think you guys got the gist of it. I'll think of something to talk about for next week. This is just kind of an intro into who I am, a little bit more of my story, what I'm working on. Would love to hear from you guys, what you're working on, things that you would like to see, like to hear from me, because I'm just going to basically talk to myself. These are things that I wish I would have known much earlier on, things that I'm doing now, things that I want to continue to do to improve. I did have a good solid approach today, got her number. Things are going well. I just know I'm capable of more. So that's the mission. That's the goal. I will be here next Sunday in Playa again. We'll find somewhere else to record. Then the following week, I will be in Australia. So that's exciting. I'll be in a whole new continent, just living a life of travel, adventure. That's what I really set out to do after my divorce. And it's changed my life tremendously. I highly recommend if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling alone, say you're going through a breakup or a divorce or just a tough time in life, go travel somewhere. Be spontaneous. Book a trip for next weekend for 2 days. Get out of town. Go fly somewhere. You can get a flight for a couple $100. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to bankrupt you. You're just going to have an epic experience. Even if you just go by yourself, it's going to be something you can tell somebody someday on a date. Just expand your horizons, expand your knowledge, expand your adventurousness, expand who you are. Just get to it. All right, guys, that's it for this episode 1. It's hammer time. We got it going. We will see you next week.